Gareth, what's your hot take?
So you won't be surprised I'm going off to the left and talking about supporters again. And my one really is that I feel as though I get that a lot of supporters just want to go the match, have a pint, watch the team, go home, forget about it. But I think, as someone who is involved with fan activism, if you like, I feel a little bit like there's a lot of footy fans who are asleep at the wheel at the moment. And I think if fans don't come together and oppose this, within 5 years, we're going to have meaningful English football played outside of England.
It's happening in Spain, isn't it?
It's happening in Spain. It's happening in Italy. You know, you've got a scenario where a La Liga game could be played in America by the end of this year. You've got a scenario where an Italian game could be played in Australia early next year. You've already seen Super Cup games played outside the countries as well. And look, you know, it's fine for Richard Masters to say there's no plans on the table right now for the Premier League to do that, but there are 11 American-owned clubs now in the Premier League. Once it gets to 14, there's nothing Richard Masters can do about it anymore. And I'm just a little bit worried that, you know, in the regulator, there's nothing really in there that they can do now either. And it just feels like, you know, there's a direction of travel. And the way to stop the direction of travel, in my opinion, is for fans to come together and say, we don't want this.
Yeah.
We want to protect our football. We want to protect our communities around the football. And there is no way in the world that an FA Cup game or a Premier League game should be played anywhere else but in this country.
I totally agree. But I think one of the things why it's maybe happening in the other countries is because the Premier League is so far ahead of these, and that they feel like they've got to do something to try and claw something back in terms of obviously money and bringing, you know, TV rights and stuff. I don't think supporters would allow that to happen. I think that would spark what we've seen around the Super League. I think it really would. The thought that your team, where it's from, is playing a game abroad. Now, where I do think they might try and do it is the Community Shield. Because I think what happens is we take the Premier League teams around the world, almost like, okay, keep the American fans happy, let's keep them on side. But we all know it's a friendly. After teams are changing, the clubs aren't really that bothered. And I think now, obviously, the supporters are getting onto that, aren't they, around the world? They're getting asked to pay huge fees of ticket prices to go and watch United City in, you know, New York.
Not even United City, United Bournemouth. Sorry, Bournemouth. But it's right.
Whoever it may be. You know what I mean? You've got the Premier League series. And I think maybe those supporters are maybe turning off eventually because it's not the real thing and that's what they want. And then it's how they bridge that. And I just don't... No, I don't think supporters...
No,
Did you have that, Scholes?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I think the foreign clubs that are doing, the foreign leagues that are doing it, are chasing something. They're chasing what we have. We've got nothing to chase. We've got everything.
Yeah, but we chase money.
Perfect.
But we chase the money. There's money at stake. There's a huge amount of money and eyeballs at stake. And it's all very well saying that the supporters won't take it. I think you're right. I think the supporters won't take it. But we'll be powerless. We will be powerless. It's all very well going, Chelsea fans won't have it. Todd Bowley couldn't care less what I say. Of course he couldn't.
Also, the fans that oppose those things are being pushed out.
To be fair, you know, we're all, I mean, especially you know, we're ex-players, but you as supporters. The Super League, I think that put a real dent and really scared and scarred. I think and I think that's put them on the back foot for maybe a good 5 to 10 years. But this will come again. And I think supporters have got to do exactly the same as they did. Demonstrate outside stadiums, thousands of people. You're not accepting that, you know, a club, and it's not about local fans, because we all know the clubs have got fans from all over the place, but for even just for like fairness about like how could one game be played abroad? How does that work when you're home and away? You're going for the league, you win the league by a point, or you lose it, or you go down by a point, and one of your home games is abroad.
I think you can tell that's
39th game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that got defeated.
39th
2008, that got defeated. But I think you can tell that, you know, behind the scenes they're talking about it, because the idea that, you know, people who own football clubs in this country don't all talk to each other is frankly bollocks. They do talk to each other. They talk to each other all the time. Someone will introduce an idea. Can we get away with that? Oh, they've got away with that. We'll do that now. And we've seen that over and over again. And I think when you've got Tom Werner coming out the other year, the Liverpool chairman, saying, I want to see games in New York, in Riyadh, in Rio, and whatever else he said. You're like, well, why are you floating that publicly? There's a reason for that. And it's to introduce it into the mindset. And various chairmen, various people with power in football have mentioned it too many times now. and it's a concern. And like I say, you know, for me, and as you're saying, Jamie, as well, you know, get together, organise, get involved with your local supporters group, get involved with the Football Supporters Association. There's a European version of that as well. And there's power in that. There's power in that. You know, this is happening in La Liga, and the Spanish fans aren't happy. They don't want it. And like I say, it's being pushed through anyway. And, you know, they're pushing at the door. FIFA now has got a group which is basically sort of helping to facilitate this sort, not fighting against it anymore. So the final place where the buck stops is us saying, we don't want it, en masse, every day. You know, write to your MP, do something about it. Like I say, we all just want to have a pint and watch the footy, but kind of think we've passed that. And we've got to sort of almost save our game here from something that we don't want.
Yeah, that's why you've got tremendous respect for the Bundesliga as well, the 50+1.
Yeah,
like,
brilliant.
That's why, and I think it's actually a really good thing, like with the overlap and Mark Goldbridge, but the Bundesliga are kind of trying to branch out and get the game more visible because they know they have to catch up, but they don't want to do it to break the traditions of what the fans are so strongly back, and that is that the match-going fans matter. That's why they've got such cheap ticket prices. Obviously, with that 50+1 rule, it's hard, basically fan-owned for the most part. And like you said, with American owners in the Premier League, the reason that it's happening in Serie A is because I think the majority of owners in the Premier League are American. And, I'm sorry, in the Serie A are American. Eventually, it's not going to be Como against Lazio played in America. It's going to be the Milan derby. It's going to be, and in Spain, it's the same thing. It's not going to be Valencia against Getafe. It's going to be Barcelona against Real Madrid. So, yeah, in terms of get into it before it's an issue, that's the most important thing to try and prevent it. We did react really well with the Super League, and I think you're right, that did put them on the back foot, but it will come round again. Yeah. It 100% will come round.
Supporters have shown, though, like, with the £30 ticket away cap, stuff like that, we've kept going for years and years, and we need to, like Gareth said, that we've got to just make sure we lock in and make sure we don't let this slip away.
I think the issue is, though, like Adam kind of said, is that people do kind of get worn down eventually, especially when it's the lifeblood of football, like the match-going fans that are getting priced out of the game as well. Season ticket prices, because of how much money there is in football, how many costs, etc. Season ticket prices are going up every single year, and eventually you probably do get to a point where you become a little bit numb to it and go, I'm not doing this anymore. Someone then takes your seat on a week-to-week basis that doesn't love the club as much as
you. It's more passive support, less season ticket holders, more of a
like
transient fan
City, for example, trying to get rid of. I don't know the ins and outs of it fully, but like a lot of clubs are trying to remove season ticket holders, and it's just like it's scary. Yeah, it's quite scary.